No, because this is running in VMware, so it seems to work fine. And VMware doesn't have a 3D device or whatever. So I don't know, it's kind of neat. It has little applets here, like you can set this up so it shows your battery and your temperature of your computer. There's a little analog clock down here that's kind of neat. Kind of hard to read this because the resolution is so tiny. Don't have many apps installed in here.
And can't you, Kevin, through the standard X login window, choose different sessions like this also?
Yeah, instead of having to edit your XInit RC, there are some different programs out there that will basically do that for you. There's one called XDM, stands for the X Display Manager. There's one called GDM, stands for the GNOME Display Manager. There's one called KDM, stands for the KDE Display Manager. And they all basically do the same thing. They give you a window that says enter your username and your password and pick which desktop environment you want to use.
So if you're curious, you don't have to remember how to do like the command line. If you like install the distro of Linux and then you choose to install a different window manager, you'll usually in that login window have a chance to choose something different.
Yep.
Which helps.
So I'm running Arch Linux here. One big difference between Arch Linux and every other distro is the RC scripts. So whenever you turn on your computer, the way that it launches all the different little programs that run every time you turn on your computer is run through what's called the RC script or sysinit system. And so what it does is it says, I see you're turning on your computer and you're a server, you're going to need a web server program running, and you're going to need, I don't know, a FTP server running and a mail server running. So the way you set those up on other distros is there are all these different folders, one for each different run level. If you want run level 5, you stick all your programs in there, and run level 4, you stick them in here. But with Arch Linux, all that is configured in one place. Right here is this line in rc.conf.
So you just have one RC file?
Yeah, there's just one RC. It's sort of similar to the way that FreeBSD does it, where you just have one file, and then this is just all the stuff. These are all my daemons or demons or whatever that start. Yeah, and one cool thing is if you want to start in parallel, you can put a little @ in front. So that means my HAL and my OpenVM tools and my cron will all start at the same time. So that'll make it boot really fast. So that's cool.
Do you know historically why the multiple RC file thing was devised?
Yeah, I think it takes like less processing power because this RC thing actually does dependency processing. Like it can tell that your web server needs your network to be going, for instance. But with this,
the one you're using.
This one will actually look at that and say, oh, I see they want both the web server and the network. I'd better start the network first and then start the web server.
So the other one, you're basically figuring that stuff out.
Right.
Choosing where
the other one, basically by the way you name the files, you say, here's the list of all of the things I want started, and here's the order I want them all started in. Interesting. So, pretty quick reboot.
Like a batch. Like some sort of a batch file or something.
Yeah, sort of like, it's like a list of files that it should run every time you turn on your computer.
Auto-exec.
Yeah, like that back in the day with DOS.
The old
Auto-exec.bat.
And you can affect the performance of the system depending on whether or not you, depending on where you locate or where you place different commands in that file, so you can have the web server start before the network by accident.
Oh yeah, if you're doing it with the old school version of scripts, you can accidentally start the web server before the network, and then it'll go, oh, I can't bind to an interface, and it'll crash.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. All of the current web scripts, all the current RC script systems have dependency checking.
Oh, nice.
So you put the dependency in each script, and they will actually reorganize it as booting so that you can do that.
Okay.
Boot uses that with Upstart. And I think even the older version had that. What is Gentoo system? It had that.
So SysV or whatever.
I forgot what it is, but that can handle that. That's an old system.
Yeah.
And of course, all the newer ones can do that.
Okay.
So in fact, the newer ones don't have an order. They just have the dependencies.
Oh, well, then it's similar to this system, then, I guess.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, yeah.
Right, because you don't even give it an order. You just tell it what you want to start, and
It knows.
yeah.
But then with each subscript, is that the same as each subscript? It tells the dependency.
Yeah. Let's see. Like, let's say, what do I have in here that has dependencies? Oh, Hal starts dbus, I think.
Yeah, this is similar.
Maybe. I don't know. This is a really minimal install. I don't really have any names in here. Anyway. This is also, the rc.conf is where all your settings are. So you set your time zone in here, your keyboard, all your modules that you want to load, your host name, your network interfaces.
And this is an Etsy?
Yeah, etsy/rc.conf. And I'd show off the package manager too. The package manager is called Pacman, but I don't have an internet connection. So one thing, yeah, there it prints out a little ASCII Pacman. So it's basically the same thing as apt-get and Debian, except better.
How come you like it better? What would
The package manager?
Yeah, like what does it do differently than like apt-get or aptitude that you like more?
Well, one thing I like is the package format. They're all based off the FreeBSD ports system, except they're binary packages. So it's really easy to go and create your own package. You just write a quick little text file and list in it all of the dependencies, give it a description, list all of the source files, the MD5 sums of all the source files, and then you tell it go, and it goes out to the internet, fetches all the files you need, and puts it into a package for you.
Okay.
And then there's also another really cool thing is called the AUR, the Arch User Repository, where like when I was in college, there was this really obscure programming language I was using called Modula 3 that nobody used in the Linux community really, or in Arch Linux.
Let's work, huh? Modula 3?
Modula 3, yeah, have you heard of that?
Yeah, successor to Pascal in a sense, a C-like language.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, my professor, I was doing research for my professor who was totally into Modula 3, so I was like setting up syntax highlighting code editor for him and stuff.
Yeah, I was kind of following languages at the time it came out, and I noticed the C community was very disdainful of it.
Right, yeah, well, they're disdainful of everything except for C.
True.
But, yeah, it's really cool. It's got this module system where it'll, like, load modules at runtime when it needs them and stuff. It's pretty slick. But it kind of died off. But anyway, there was no package for it, so I just went out and I created a little package file, and then I uploaded it to the AUR, and then anyone else using Arch Linux can just go pacman install Kevin's Modula 3, and then it'll just go out, fetch all the files, download it, and install the thing. And so I'm not even an official package maintainer or anything. I'm just an average Joe, but I could create this package. And then when new versions come out, other people can adopt it and update it or whatever they want. And of course, you want to, the system could be abused, so you want to make sure when you're installing one of those that you're not installing a virus or something. But the checksums and stuff help with that.
And these are all user-generated and user-maintained?
Yeah, well, if it's in the AUR, then it's user-maintained, the user repository. But then what happens is if people like it, then they vote for it. Like if a whole bunch of people really like my Modula 3 package, they'd all go, boy, I use this all the time, I'm going to cast my vote for it. And then once there are enough votes, then someone an official maintainer will adopt the package.
Okay.
And make sure that it's all up to spec and everything, and then they'll keep maintaining it until people stop down. They look at the statistics, and if people stop installing it very often, then they'll orphan the package and it'll disappear.